In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my top 10 in no particular order favourite video games from the Nintendo 64. What are your top 10 favourite video games from the Nintendo 64? I'd love to hear it in the comment section below. Let's get on with it. Goldeneye 007. This game, what can I say about it without even trying to not compare it to Call of Duty, but this game was pretty much the first person shooter to have back in the day if you owned an N64 and whatnot. I'm pretty sure there's some PlayStation gamers that really loved coming over to the Nintendo from their PlayStation to actually enjoy this game, you know what I mean? Made by one of my most favourite game dev teams, Rareware, or Rare as they're publicly known as, or well, most worldly renownedly known as, should I say. It was a magical experience playing this game. As a matter of fact, I actually played the game before I even watched the movie. So then when I did watch the movie, I was like, hey, that part's in the game, that's in the game, that bit, hey, yeah, I remember that bit, reference to this and that. Obviously, I did it in the wrong order. But playing this game, man, I loved it so much. It was simple but yet difficult, especially unlocking all those cheats, which I finally did as an adult. I couldn't get the invincibility cheat back in the day. It was too difficult until I managed to do it as an adult 50 billion times, and I finally unlocked it, which was absolutely outstanding. Paintball mode, big DK mode, the big heads, playing this with my best friend, and we had so many amazing laughs and whatnot. Man, this was the 3D first person shooter game to have, and the music was so immensely awesome, man. Absolutely, I love and appreciate the amount of top tier quality, love and passion showed in this video game by the Rare dev team. Right, the multiplayer was an absolute blast, as I just mentioned, playing with my mates. I'm pretty sure many of you can actually recollect memories or lost memories playing Odd Job or playing against Odd Job, using the cheats to do paintball mode and slappers only and one hit, one kill, golden gun and stuff. It was just absolutely phenomenal. And also, what is absolutely phenomenal is that pause menu music, which to this day cannot be beat. 007 GoldenEye just hit on a different level, man. For us, that was our Call of Duty back in the day. I'm not trying to say Call of Duty I'm not trying to say that 007 GoldenEye is at the level of Call of Duty where it's not that good, especially considering how Call of Duty is now. I'm just saying that was the game that everyone sort of played back in the day because of its popularity and its quality. You know what I mean? Playing for all those missions, agent, secret agent, 00 agent, unlocking cheats and stuff like that, and shooting the guards, you know, this was the game to have, and it's great that I actually experienced it. I was born in the right decade, mate. Banjo Kazooie. For those of you that have not been watching my channel that long enough, I just want to give you some news. Banjo Kazooie is my most favourite game of all time. It's amazing how a game from my childhood is just that. And there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. If you've got any favourite games from your childhood, put it in your own top 10 list or talk about it, you know, world's your oyster when it comes to gaming and whatnot. But yeah, Banjo Kazooie, I absolutely love this game. You know, a game doesn't have to have violence, sex, nudity, swear words, gore, and all that in order to be good. It can have family-friendly themes. It can have a simple story theme. It can be quirky. It can be fun. It can be upbeat. It can be colourful. That's exactly what this game is. So I mean, no darkness involved apart from what happens to Gruntilda at the end. Goodness me. But yeah, yeah. And the fact that she's actually trying to, she did capture Banjo's sister and trying to transform her ugly into Tootie's beauty. You know, reverse it, trying to take her beauty and whatnot. This game was absolutely phenomenal. I cannot express that enough, man. It's kind of an understatement. The music in this game is at least S tier quality. You know what I mean? The gameplay, fabulous. The fact that it's anthropomorphic things come to life, absolutely love it. You get to talk to a toilet, you get to talk to a giant sphinx, you get to talk, Logo the toilet I think his name was, I forgot what the sphinx's name was. You get to have an eating contest with a crocodile and whatnot, Mr. Vile I think his name was. You get to have a Christmas themed level, Freeze Easy Peak. You get to have all these different levels that you have in Banjo Kazooie, right? All of them have their own themes and whatnot. Like you've got a sunny beach one, you've got Spiral Mountain, if that even counts, though it's more of a tutorial thing, right? You've got one that's in a shipyard at Rusty Bucket Bay. You've got Clicklock Woods and whatnot. It's just amazing. This game is truly fantastic, and it was made by Rareware. Such amazing game. It's really criminal at how after Nuts and Bolts there hasn't been another Banjo Kazooie game. It's kind of ridiculous, and I'm really angry at them about that. Really angry. This game for me was just my childhood favourite, and it still is today. There's other games that have sort of come close in order for their own quality. You know, every game brings their own quirks and stuff and whatnot, but this game is just level and leagues beyond what should be normal for a video game to be loved so much, especially for me. You know, I loved all the Jinjos. I loved Kazooie and her banter with other characters, you know, whatnot. It's just funny. I'm surprised she wasn't at a turkey dinner, to be honest. I have reviewed this game on my channel. I need to get back into my reviews and whatnot, man. But talking about Banjo Kazooie, the magicalness of it, it's not been recaptured for me in any other game I've played. I've played quite a few games in my lifetime, but goodness me, Banjo Kazooie just hits home for me, personally, man. The gameplay, the music, the art style, the pixelated, polygonal, whatever you want to call it, the 3D environment, it all comes together in one big, massive barbecue sort of wonderful feast for you. It's amazing. It's not like a bowl of Kellogg's Frosties or cornflakes. Nothing simple. It's just like a barbecue feast. Everything that I want in a video game is that it right there. Really awesome, especially for a platformer. Really outstanding game, Banjo Kazooie. I cannot recommend it enough. Diddy Kong Racing. It's like there's some sort of trend with these games I'm talking about, isn't there? Diddy Kong Racing, man. What a fantastic, phenomenal video game for a kart racing game. Especially for a game where you get to race in 3 different vehicles. So you've got the cart, you've got the airplanes, you've got the hover boats and whatnot. Forgot what they were called, but yeah, that was absolutely phenomenal with a good sense of just pure beauty in the game. You know, from the moment you start up with that magical elephant coming out on his magic carpet and whatnot, you'd know you're in for a treat, man. This game was just that, an absolute phenomenal treat. The amount of different levels, the music things in the stage, the musical scores, the character designs were great as well. Honestly, Diddy Kong Racing had exactly what was going for it, especially when you consider the fact that games like Mario Kart 64 that game sold a lot more. It was well more praised for some reason, and yet Diddy Kong Racing was just a little bit back at behind it for some odd reason. I don't get it. Maybe it's because it's just Mario and all that, but in fairness to Diddy Kong Racing, it was a better game, and it is a better game. I've actually made a video comparing the two, and I stick by my guns. Diddy Kong Racing is a much better video game than Mario Kart 64. I will die on that hill, and I don't care if I have to die alone on it. But this game was just pure awesomeness. I mean, I actually struggled for so long trying to beat the boss battle of Wizpig. I couldn't do it as a kid, but I did it as an adult. So in your face, Wizpig, I broke that streak. What I love about Diddy Kong Racing especially is the fact that you've got an open hub world. Well, you have a hub world where you get to travel to different levels. You know, once you've beat the level, you can unlock a key to unlock this level. You have to do the levels on a silver egg challenge or something. I think it was silver balloon challenge, that's what it was. And you have to collect all the silver balloons, and you can defeat bosses in this game, something which Mario Kart does not have. And it also has unlockables for 2 extra characters, which was Drumstick and TT, Time Trial. And he was no easy feat to beat on this game. He is so difficult to beat. Once you've beaten all the Time Trials, then you get to unlock him. I actually found him easier to drive against when it came to the planes and the hoverboard tracks. When it comes to the car racing tracks, nah, that's what I found him to be absolutely difficult. I still stand by my guns. I cannot stand Crunch, the Kremlin. Yeah, he may have the best top speed in the game, but literally, I cannot stand his handling. My favourite characters were Drumstick and Tip Top. I really do love Tip Top and Drumstick. They were my favourite, they were my OGs and whatnot in the game. Absolutely love them to bits. I mean, I've played this game with my best friend. Well, he's my brother anyway, he's my brother. With my brother, and best friend of course. With my brother, we had so many great laughs on this. back in the day. It wasn't in our childhood we played together, but we played when we were adults and whatnot, and we just had a fantastic time. I've even recorded us through the years playing this game back in the day, and it was just phenomenal, man. We had so many great laughs. The fact what I love about this game as well, you get to upgrade your items as well. Like, you get to upgrade it 3 times, which is absolutely awesome. So with the radiation, I believe it was the shield, you get to upgrade that 3 times. You get to upgrade the rockets from rocket, homing rocket, then to about 10 missiles you get. That was absolutely awesome, man. That's what I mean when this game was created with pure love. It absolutely is. And for some reason, it just didn't do as well as Mario Kart 64, which just baffles me for some reason, man. But in any case, that doesn't detract from its quality. Diddy Kong Racing is an absolutely phenomenal video game. And if you haven't played it, I greatly recommend you give it a go. And on the subject of Diddy Kong Racing as well, it baffles me how long it's taken Mario Kart to give you an open hub world, even though Diddy Kong Racing and Crash Team Racing did it back in the 90s. Catch up, Nintendo, come on. Took you long enough, didn't it? With your new Mario Kart world, with your open hub world where you get to drive to places. Diddy Kong Racing and Crash Team Racing did this in the 90s, for crying out loud.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs!
Snowboard kids. Without a shadow of a doubt, this is one of the most underrated video games, not just on this list, but of all time. This is a video game that only those who have played it will talk about it, which is a dying shame. I feel like it's criminal as well that this game hasn't really had a series of its own. There was a last game made on the DS, but even that wasn't that good, and I've seen it, and I will collect it as well so I can play it. However, Snowboard Kids is up there with Diddy Kong Racing of one of the greatest racing games ever. I know a lot of people haven't really played it, which is a shame. You know, this game's got absolutely outstanding music. The vibe and feels of this game is just out of this world. The fact you've got unlockable boards, you can do cheats to get everything you want. The levels are by no means easy, especially level 7. What was it called? Quicksand Valley? That level was no joke. And beating the last character on this game, which you can actually unlock, called Shinobin, the last border. Apparently he's a kid, but doesn't show you his age or anything, which as a ninja I think it's, you know, part and parcel of what he's like, you know what I mean? So Snowboard Kids is truly phenomenal. It's what actually got me into snowboarding video games. After that became SSX Tricky, and the rest is history. In fact, one of my comments said on this video game, I can't remember what video it was, but is this like a Temu version of SSX Tricky? And I was like, don't disrespect this game. I assume you haven't even played it. In fact, there was no assumption. I know you haven't, because you wouldn't be saying that nonsense. So, Snowboard Kids, phenomenal game. I greatly recommend you give it a try. There was a second game, the sequel, Snowboard Kids 2, that came out on the N64 as well. We're not talking about that, but it was actually a great game as well. I've played it. Really, really awesome game. You know, you do get unlockables. The CPU in this game are no joke. You know, it feels like as you go higher in the levels from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, they get a little bit more difficult. I love the weapons and the items you get to use in this game. You cannot collect them unless you've got coins in your bank and whatnot, but the music is what really sets this game apart for me. Obviously the character designers does as well, but the music is like a trance sort of style music, you know, sort of house and trance music, or electro sort of stuff, all rolled into a video game. Atlas or Actim, I really wish they would make a new game, but obviously we're not going to get what we want sometimes, so we're going to have to just make do with what they made and see if we can just make do with the best what we can. Snowboard Kids is a fantastic game, pure brilliance. I'm letting you know that right now, and it deserves a spot in my top 10. I've always felt this way, and I don't know if I want to say this or I'll leave it for a video. I'll leave it for a video. It makes the suspense a little bit more better. But Snowboard Kids, definitely in my top 10. I do love the characters of Slash, Nancy, Jam, Linda and Tommy, as they're so distinguishable and whatnot. I love the boards and it's great to do alpine, freestyle, and all around. You know, they all have their pros and cons of how you get to drive them, or go down the ski slopes and whatnot. And what I love about this game is at the end of each race, you've got that little chairlift that takes you right back to the very beginning. Made with love and so much passion. I wish games still had that. Some do, a lot don't. Bomberman 64. Now, this wasn't the very first Bomberman video game I actually played. The very first video game that I played in the Bomberman series, which I believe was Super Bomberman 3 on the SNES. I remember playing it along with family members and whatnot, and I remember going through the story and playing the multiplayer, which was absolutely fun. And I remember those dinosaurs, all those distinguishable, colourful, different dinosaurs, which you hatch the eggs and you get to ride on them, and they all do different features and planting their bombs or jumping over stuff and being super speed and whatnot. You know, that was absolutely great. Bomberman 64 though is a game I eagerly look forward to, obviously not realising it was in production when I was a young kid back in the mid to late 90s and whatnot, but when Bomberman 64 dropped on the Nintendo 64, I was gobsmacked of its quality, man. I love the fact it was an open, well not open, but 3D world Bomberman game, had a good story, which was interesting. There's a little bit of a, after I completed the game, I didn't truly accomplishedly complete it. You know what I mean? Because there's a little bit more. I actually thought after you defeat the 5 bosses or all those levels, I thought that was it. But there was a little bit more after that if you were to collect all the golden cards and stuff like that. And there was a little bit of that was sort of spoiled for me when I was watching a specific YouTube channel who actually plays all N64 games, and it was not a spoiler in a bad way. It was actually like a gobsmacked way. I didn't realise there was more to that game. Even though I completed it a few times, I didn't fully accomplishedly beat it. I mean, I beat the game, but I didn't fully complete it, is what I'm trying to say. And there was a little bit more than I didn't even realise there was. So, the gameplay of Bomberman 64, absolutely fantastic, man. I love the fact you get to go to different distinct worlds and defeating all those bosses and learning how to plant bombs and being strategical with it. And it was just the music as well. The vibe of this game was just absolutely phenomenal. But what I really loved about it personally was the multiplayer as well. The fact it's got multiplayer, play against the CPU. Again, I played with my brother on this game and we had such amazing fun. It's one of those games which I wish the N64, if it had online, and NSO on the Switch, or now the Switch 2, certain video games from the past should be brought back, and this is one of them, man. Bomberman is just, fun. Absolutely fun game. Really good fun. I mean, there were certain bosses in this game which I felt like were just taking the mickey out of me. But the way they were designed, which is actually pretty good. I love there was so much love put into this game. So if you haven't played Bomberman 64, I greatly recommend Bomberman 64 for the Nintendo 64. Definitely in my top 10, deserves to be in this list. I don't feel like this game actually gets talked about all that often either. Ocarina of Time. Now, you know I was not going to make this list without including my awesome game that I played back in the day, Ocarina of Time. This game is the creme de la creme. The creme de la creme of N64 games, man. You gotta love Ocarina of Time, and if you don't, you're just lying to yourself. Right, it's just this game, man, just a phenomenal experience. I cannot express just how awesome, enticing, groundbreaking this game is, man. Just phenomenal. This was my very first Legend of Zelda video game that I actually played. I didn't start on the SNES or anything like that with those games, and or the NES. But I started here on the N64, so I was a bit of a late bloomer to it, I guess you could say. But man, oh my goodness, man, this was an adventure of a lifetime. It most definitely was. Playing as the young Link, or as I knew him back then, my own character's name, which was my name, which was great. Because the fact you get to name your character, which was awesome. I loved it. The music in this game was just S tier on a godly level, man, I tell you. Every soundtrack makes you feel like you're in the game. The immersion was mind-blowing. It absolutely was. Playing through this game, it was just like you were there. You were literally there. And you just couldn't believe what you were playing. You know? all the way from Kokiri Forest, saving the Great Deku Tree. Well, I guess you could say save. He sadly passed away. Spoilers. And then you go and get the other spiritual stones, and then you unlock the Temple of Time, and then you go and try and fix the world that Ganondorf ruined. You know, and no, this game is top quality, man. I know a lot of people say it's overrated, to which I say, well, be careful with your words. Move on. So I'll just leave it there with this game. Phenomenal. It's a masterpiece, man. I absolutely love this game. 10 out of 10. Deserves to be in this list. Super Mario 64. Yep, the game on the N64. A game that pretty much all of us loved and love. Still hail it in probably our top 100 lists. Very influential game from that point moving forward in the 3D world platformers. You gotta love Super Mario 64. I love it. It was great. I've been watching a few videos lately about the what do you call it, GeoGuessr, where you hide around the castle and people have got to find you and whatnot, or you got to find, it's like hide and seek and whatnot. It's just great, that is. But I like to see what speedrunners have done to this game, which is good. But this game, again, just like Ocarina of Time, was a magical experience, man. I am so happy I grew up with games like this. True top quality games that transform gaming, literally right here at our fingertips. Some of us didn't even know how lucky and how awesome we had it back in the day, but we most certainly did. Oh my goodness me. So many great levels. Was there a total of 15 levels in this game? I heard it was about 15-ish levels, I think. But playing, when you think about it, it's like, okay, it does seem that much, but back in the day we didn't know, really, unless we actually counted them all. And oh my goodness, yeah. Going around to different wall paintings, jumping through that, truly magical experience that was. And Bomb-on Battlefields, sorry, Bomb-on, yeah, is it Bomb-on Fields? And racing against the Koopa, fighting the Big Bomb King, and beating Bowser up by throwing him. You remember the tagline? What was it? When you threw Bowser, it was,
So long, Bowser!
I'm pretty sure you know. Oh my goodness, this game was just, I've got so many great memories of this game. I just remember when I was a little kid, right, I was in home when I was living in London at the time, playing this game after I had a nice hot bath and just sat by the fireplace. And I think I was on Die Docks, and I was just swimming around listening to that amazingly awesome soundtrack that all of us know and truly well and love. Oh my goodness, what can be said about this game that hasn't already been said? I mean, when you think about the sheer quality that Nintendo put into their passion project of Super Mario 64, it's just, words cannot begin to explain just how grateful I am to play games like this back in the day. I love this game. I love it. You know, and I'd love to play this game again sometime soon. I've got the N64, it's just over there. I can just pull out the N64, get the N64 Games, Super Mario 64, and just get a cup of tea, some chocolate biscuits, and just enjoy my time like as if I'm playing it all over again. I would love to, and I really love the fact you get to maneuver Mario's face at the start of the menu, just before you actually start playing the game. The music in this game, yeah, you know what? I love this game so much, definitely being in my top 10 list. Blast Core. If there was another underrated rareware gem, Blast Core is definitely it. I don't really see games like this being made much nowadays. I mean, there is a few games with destruction in it, but not to the extent where N64 is still reigning supreme with it. So, come on, man. Where's all the games with the destruction in it? Like Blast Core, man. This game was just, that's what drew me into this game. The music, it's quirky. The gameplay is just fantastic. You know, you have to destroy and flatten everywhere to make way for a runaway nuclear missile. Because if you don't, if that missile hits anywhere, or even yourself, boom, nuke goes off, game over. That's what I love about this game, man. It was It was a little bit simple, but at the same time, there were certain levels in this game that just took the mickey with you. You have to really think strategically to get past those missions. You have to be quick, you have to be strategical, and most importantly of all, just have fun. You know what I mean? It was absolutely fantastic. If you haven't seen Blast Corps, or if you're unaware of its existence, have a look at some video gameplays of it on YouTube. I'm pretty sure that you will have a great time with it. If you can look past the graphical capabilities of the N64, like I can, and like many of us can, with love and gaming common sense, without having our recency bias showing all the blooming time that everyone always does, then yeah, I'm pretty sure you'll get a kick out of Blast Corps. Blast Corps, again, it's one of those games that I only talked about for those of us that have actually played it and grew up with it and whatnot. And if Rareware was to make a remake or an updated game in today's day and age, and I would absolutely love it. I'll be there, all here for it. I would love to play that game, absolutely 100%. I'll be on it. So Blast Corps, definitely in my top 10. It deserves to be here. Fantastic, underrated gem that doesn't really get talked about enough. Lylat Wars. Oh, this is a really good one. I'm so happy I've put Lylat Wars on here, man. I love this game. I've played it so many times. What is it? Is this like an on-rails shooter sort of game, isn't it? Is it on rails? I believe it might be considered that. Fantastic game. Corneria, fourth planet of the Lylat system. The evil Andros. That's me, man. Love the game to pieces, I do. The Star Fox team taking down Andros, taking down Team Star Wolf, going on these different planets. You can actually, depending on how you complete each level, you get to choose your planet you get to go to on its course. I've finally beaten all of the game. I've actually unlocked the master mode, or the hard mode, where Star Fox wears actually sunglasses. So I believe by doing that, I've unlocked the harder modes to actually play the game on. Now I'm actually going to try and play that and see how much more difficult it's going to be. Because I'm all for it playing a harder mode and whatnot, because I grew up with that game. A lot of people, obviously in America it's called Star Fox 64, but over here it's called Lylat Wars, a title which I'm pretty much partial to. Lylat Wars, I actually love that. Lylat Wars is just on another level, man. I absolutely love it. The different levels, the fact you get to change and whatnot, it adds a real dynamic to the game that really draws you in to say, right, I'm going to try and get on that level next time. How do I do it? Have I got to go through this tunnel? Have I got to defeat those enemies? Have I got to go through that bit? You know what I mean? That's what it does when you realise you get to... Well, you actually see all these different missions on the start menu before you actually get to play the level. And you're wondering, how do I get over there? How do I get to that one? And then you realise that as you play through the game, yeah, you can actually get to those when you unlock it. It's just great, man. Absolutely love this game so much. I really do love the music as well in this game. In fact, I've said that about all the games of this list so far, haven't I? The music on these games are just groundbreakingly awesome. They really are, can't help it. You gotta love the music in these games. They're just fantastic. You know what I mean? And this game, Lylat Wars, is definitely worth being up here. Who was my favourite character in the Star Fox team? Oh, I don't know. It's got to be Star Fox for me. The character I disliked the most, definitely Falco, because of his attitude. Can't stand him. Other than that, great game. Who did I prefer? Star Wolf? Squad, I would say Leon. I really liked Leon. He was like the... felt like an old British villain, especially with how he sounds. Andros has ordered us to take you down. I would imagine that if there was going to be like some sort of animated movie or animated TV series with Lylat Wars, or they'd probably call it Star Fox, then that would probably do well, and I'll be all here for it, to be honest. Mario Kart 64. And the last game, but certainly not least, do you know, it's just got to be Mario Kart 64. I really loved Mario Kart 64. I did. That is until a few other games in terms of racing overshadowed it. Obviously because I played Mario Kart 64 first, but that's neither here nor there. But I really did enjoy Mario Kart 64. It wasn't my very first Mario Kart game. My very first Mario Kart game was in fact for the SNES, Super Mario Kart. So I'm an OG. I started on the original back in the day. Really awesome game. Mario Kart 64 though, it has its flaws. You know, character design and the 3D aspects and whatnot, and the rubber banding. Yeah, rubber banding. Other than that, it was actually a pretty decent game. I actually like all the levels. I've already made a top ranking list of my all the Mario Kart 64 levels, ranking from the worst to the best. And my number one pick might surprise you, but I'm actually going to tell you what it is now, and it is Toad's Turnpike. I love Toad's Turnpike. That's my most favourite level on Mario Kart 64. My favourite character is of course Wario. What I don't like about this game is the fact there's no unlockables and things like that. You don't get to unlock any other characters, no new like levels, which was kind of a downer, to be honest, because on N64 games there's a lot of games where you just get to unlock stuff, and it actually felt really replayable. The replayability factor was high because of it, so you get to unlock more stuff. And some of the games which I've already listed on here, you do get to unlock stuff. But this game, it was just pure 3D kart racing, which is not bad in itself. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I just got my flaws with Mario Kart, and I believe I've already reviewed it. And there was no way I wasn't gonna review it. But Mario Kart 64, yeah, it's on this list, and yeah, there you go. I love it. In no particular order, these are my favourite top 10 N64 games. Now, I know what some of you may be thinking. In fact, you probably typed it in the comment section already before watching the entire video. Why didn't you put so-and-so game on there? The reason being why I didn't put certain other games on there is either 1, I didn't own it, or 2, I didn't play much of it. Those are the only 2 reasons. If I didn't play much of the game, and it wasn't really on this list, especially when I played these other games a lot more. And if I didn't own it, I'm not going to play much of it anyway, own it. I have played other games like Super Smash Brothers. That game is phenomenal, but I played it a little bit later. Even though I've rented it back in the day, I loved it, but I need to play more of it. But these other games, I just love them so much more. But Super Smash Brothers is there. For those of you wondering, certain other games, I've already given my reasons why. Hopefully you enjoyed though, fellow gaming minions. I would be interested to hear about your top 10 video games in the comment section below. Hopefully you enjoyed watching. Make sure you have a wonderful day. Take good care of yourself. Looking forward to seeing you on my next video. And thank you very much for watching indeed, if you made it this far. If you made it this far, I want you to type in your favourite KFC meal.